Welcome to Archeotech Assimilation, where we discover and investigate the technology of the Imperium and the tools of chaos.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of Iron and Ceramite's Archeotech Assimilation. On this episode, we're going to continue with our review of the animated series Angels of Death. My name is John, and I am joined by the lovely Dave. How are you doing, mate?
Not too bad. Hello, guys.
So we're going to be looking at episode 6 called Against the Horde. This is the mid-season premiere after the short break they had. If you're joining us for the first time, we've already reviewed the first 5 episodes, so go back to the YouTube main channel and look for those, and then come back and watch this one, and also the other animations from Warhammer Plus 2. So, as always, we will go through the beats of the story, talk about what we like and what we dislike, so take this as your spoiler warning. So before we get into it, Dave, did you like this one?
Yes. And the order of it was very good as well.
I was waiting for that.
It was, yeah, I think it was much better set out than the finale, or the mid-season finale.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good episode overall. I think it started. It really progressed the storyline. It was a couple of twists in there as well. So yeah I was quite pleased with it actually, because as I said last time, and beat it on for about half an hour. Wasn't massively impressed with the finale because of it just sort of took me out of the immersion, but this got me right back in it. So very good episode.
Yeah, right. It's brought us back. It's brought us up to where we left it, wasn't it? Now, so we had that gap to show us how we got there, and now we know how they got there. We're going to see where they're going. All you got to do now is watch. Remember, when next time you watch it, start at episode 5 and then go back. A bit like watching Star Wars, isn't it? Everyone watches it in a random order. Anyway, let's go through it and then we'll talk about it at the end.
Let's do it.
Cool. So we start this episode. The Angels of Death are still in the tunnel where we left them, getting absolutely hammered by the Gene Stealers. Kazarian smashing through the enemy, screaming things like "I am vengeance," and he's going on a bit of a mad one. And then it's I think Ancaeus grabs him by the arm and calls his name out, and Kazarian spins round holding his chainsword up, and Ancaeus has to say, "Put the sword down," like just stopping him from doing anything silly. And after a bit of a pause, he puts the sword down and drops to his knee and says it passes, I think meaning like the black rage, sort of the feeling was passing. And then unfortunately we see Raphael's body laying prone next to him. And so sadly, I think Raphael was pretty dead.
Yeah, he didn't move for quite some time. So I think they all seem to move on and think that, Raphael is gone, which is a shame because I think everyone wanted him to be back. I think everyone
was
cool hoping character. That he just went, he just sort of got up a bit like the Undertaker and was just unfazed.
just a big hole in his head, but carried on anyway.
But I think that's the end of Raphael, unfortunately.
Yeah, that sucks. But it was great while he lasted. Ancaeus tells Kazarian to get up and carry on, but he can't. So Ancaeus starts giving out orders to the others as this horde continues to hammer them from both sides. One of the Blood Angels is recovered from beneath a mound of like corpses, and he stands up, missing an arm, but he's back into the fight. They're obviously still stuck in the tunnel, getting charged from both sides, and I think they're all pretty certain that they're going to die soon. After like a minute's breather, Kazarian jumps up and rejoins the ranks, ready to face the enemy one more time. In the distance, we see the male cult leader kneeling next to the body of, as described by Glenn, the massive Gribbly that I think killed Raphael, and swears that it will be avenged before he sneaks off down a tunnel to, we don't know where he's going, but he disappears, obviously, to get away from the killing and the Astartes. So in orbit, the ship mistress is still holding the bridge and picking off the corrupted enemy ships who are now trying to ram them. They manage to get most of them, but one gets through, smashing through the hull and rips the unfortunate workers into space. And now they've been boarded, we see a trail of gene stealers crawling along the decking into the ship. Hadriel, he's still working to free them from the docking station. He has these 2 armed servitors behind, picking off the enemy whilst he works. But it soon becomes apparent that he isn't going to be able to do it due to the strength of the enemy. Rather than let the ship fall, he leaves his position to source something that can aid them further. What that is, we don't know. Or do we?
It better be the dreadnought. I love that bit. I love that bit. He was just so cool, calm, and collected, and was just sort of like, "This isn't working. I'm going to go try something else." Bye. And then
my optimism was slowly off. Overstated.
Just wanders slowly off while getting shot at. Like, all right, I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah.
Just let me go fetch the dread.
I thought that was brilliant. And so something that we have been dying to know is what happened to Captain Orfeo. He's alive and he's not alone. He's in, I guess, the lair of the adept who sent the servitor to meet his squad earlier on. He's a bit groggy, and she gives us a bit of backstory and tells him how he ended up there, and tells him that he's the lone survivor as his squad has expired. I think the adept is called Castia Beta 9, and Orfeo's laying on a medical bed with a sheet covering most of his body. She can't be bothered to wait for him to ask questions. She came prepared with a PowerPoint presentation of her own. And explains how Naiades become so messed up. So Naiades was like an average imperial planet, centered close enough for trade with other planets and home to a telepathic choir, governed with an acceptable level of corruption and nothing else remarkable about it. A parasite found home within a human host on the surface, a parasite of a subspecies of the Tyranid. This human hybrid bred and flourished on the planet, and then eventually they took over with this devastating war, the ambition to control the planet and welcome their gods. After gaining control, they took over the telepathic choir and the space dock, send out messages of peace and sanctuary. Once they realized that their gods weren't coming to this planet and they were starting to dwindle, they offered these messages of peace and sanctuary out. So unexpected ships arrived, and they would infest them and then send them on their way to go and start new host planets elsewhere.
Spread the good news.
Yeah.
It's a bit like extreme Jehovah's Witnesses.
Do you have a moment to talk about growing an extra arm?
I really like this bit as well. I think that the Magos was very clinical and brutal and sort of like the flesh is weak. Like, these are all human problems.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost as if she's not human herself. I think it done quite a good way of sort of portraying the Adeptus Mechanicus as being basically part human, but very sort of linked to the omnis. Yeah, very separate.
And she sort of says, doesn't she? She's like, well, I just come down here and hid because it was pointless. I know eventually someone like you would turn up. Yeah. And here we are. So she's not wrong. She's just, you're not wrong. You're just an asshole. So anyway, Kazarian and his squad, they've been given a bit of respite, and the Gene Stealers pause their assault. However, they suspect they're preparing for a large final assault, and except they're about to die. The Gene Stealer cult charges, and as the first wave is about to reach them, heavy fire comes out of nowhere, obliterating these monsters. The Angels are stunned, as well as like this second wave of Gene Stealers who are coming up, and everyone sort of looks around for about 10 seconds, just looking around confused.
What the fuck?
The Angels react quickly and take out this second wave, who are still stood there with their jaws hanging to the floor. These three servitors armed with huge cannons emerge from the smoke and say that they have been sent by the mistress, and they have information about Captain Orfeo, and they turn around and say, come on then, follow.
I love that bit. It really made me chuckle.
It was funny.
It's just the servitors waddling up with massive guns and just going, hello, and then just waddling off again.
Yeah. There's like no explanation at all. It's just come this way. So back in orbit, what's left of the crew prepare to defend the bridge as the Gene Stealers are on board and on their way to take the bridge. And Orfeo and Castia Beta 9 hear bolt fire. from the Blood Angels who are closing in. And Orfeo tries to get up but can't and demands that she releases him. And she said, "You're not shackled here, but you have been betrayed by your flesh." And he pulls this sheet away, revealing that the rest of his limbs have been heavily damaged, and his missing legs and arm have been replaced by machine parts. And that ends the episode. So I thought it was a pretty solid one, like we said at the start. That brings us back up to speed.
It was quite an ominous ending. That's one thing I will say, is that the way that she was sort of like, "You've been betrayed by your flesh. By the way, I've sort of turned you into a robot."
Oh yeah, surprise.
Yeah, I think that was a bit ominous. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I know about the Adeptus Mechanicus, but she seems a bit sus.
I thought that.
If I was playing Among Us, then she'd get fucking booted, mate. Because
I did think that at first. Obviously, there's something on the planet that needs saving. That's why she's obviously keen to get the Blood Angels there. What it is, we don't know. And then it's what she's just been like, very, like we said before, very sort of blunt. "This is what I'm telling you. You'll know when you need to know. I'll get and she says, I'll get them where they need, like, about the other squad. I'll get them to where they need to be, but not necessarily to him."
but, yeah,
So it's like, I
there's
don't think
definitely
she's going to
something
get
going
killed.
on.
I think she's using them for
They're going to be her pawns.
some
I think.
purpose.
But yeah, she is going to use the angels to get her what she wants.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think her survival's key either. There's obviously something on the planet they just need to get off.
Yeah.
So yeah, she is strange, and another interesting character to see where it goes as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this is a really good thing about the series, is that they're introducing quite a few different sort of branches of the Imperium. Obviously, we've had a bit of the Navigators, like the ship mistress, now the Magos. So yeah, I think it's quite interesting in that sense. It would be quite cool to see where she goes. But like I say, she's definitely sus. So
yeah, definitely. One of the bits I really liked is with Hadriel, when he's just sort of standing there working, and you see like his two servitors behind, and one of them gets killed, and it just really slowly falls over. I like that. And then the other one, that you got the dude with the rocket launcher pops up and blows the other one away, and Hadriel literally just turns, headshots, and then goes back to work. And then he's just like, all these rounds are pinging off of him, and like we said, he just goes, "Oh, this isn't fucking working," and just wanders off. And he's such a cool character. Like, he's awesome. A bit, obviously, he's given himself over to the Omnicide, so he's a bit robotic as well, where he just doesn't really have the emotion.
Yeah, he's got that element of bluntness to him and saying, "Yeah, this isn't working. I'm going to do something else." And when he's got that sort of, he's still got that Space Marine, which I think has been sort of something that surprised me a bit with the series, is that the rest of the Blood Angels are all sort of they're all a bit emo, aren't they?
Very
they're sort of like, "Oh, I'm sad I got the Black Rage," and "Oh, I'm sad we're going to die." Not sad, but obviously they're
ready
just a
for
bit.
it. But it's
whereas
Kazarian
he's very blunt, and he's sort of like, "Yeah, all right."
Yeah, I think it's Kazarian and Ancaeus. There's a bit of a sibling rivalry over who's the better captain.
Yeah.
So there's that going on. But
they did have that. They did have that sort of that little romantic gesture to each other, didn't they?
Yeah. So they're happy to die together again. So hopefully, and that's the thing. Like when Kazarian was on his knee, and one of them was like, "Get back up," and we need Kazarian's help, and he said, "No, Kazarian needs our help a bit more at the minute. Let's just leave him." So I think the understanding's come back, and he knows.
Yeah, definitely.
Stuff.
One thing that we didn't mention, which was a really good joke, was when the chap with no arm, that one of them went, "Oh, do you need help reloading?"
Yeah.
And then the guy who was fucking about with the heavy bolter couldn't get it working. He was like, "No, do you need help?" And he was just sort of like embarrassed.
Yeah, that was brilliant. I forgot about that. Yeah. And then the last thing I thought was funny as well is when that ship rams through, and obviously like the workers get sucked out. There was that one servo skull that was really trying not to go.
A little message at the end as well.
Yeah.
No servo skulls were injured during the filming or whatever it was.
Yeah, I thought that was brilliant. So I look forward to the next episode.
Yeah,
As
this has
always.
definitely been my favourite series so far. I think this is the best one that we've had. The Hammer and Bottle ones, I sort of feel a bit hit and miss, but this has been pretty good
massive,
throughout.
You're not a massive animation person anyway, though, are you? So.
No, I'm not. But this is a bit more realistic. So this is something I can get into a bit more than the more sort of comic-y anime ones. I mean, the stories are good. I'm enjoying them. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't feel it's as immersive as Angels of Death one. Yeah. It has been so far. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is like it's eventually. I hope that they're going to do what they did with the Astartes and just cut it together and have the movie.
Yeah.
And that'll be good. That'll be really good.
And
but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, it's really good. And this is what I wanted from Warhammer Plus. This is the sort of content that I wanted. And obviously there's one coming for the Black Templars as well at some point. So
yeah,
I'm hoping that it's very similar. I'm hoping it's similar to this rather than the other one.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Definitely. Well, I look forward to it. Cool. Anything else about this episode before we go?
No, I don't think so. Apart from what are people thinking? Are we going to get the Dread? Is he going to wake up the Dread?
Of course
or
he
is it going to be a massive anticlimax?
He just comes back with a big gun. Yeah. Or you just see him drop pod out there.
I forgot my screwdriver and just goes back to the same fucking little thing.
Or he'll just come running up to it and headbutt it. Yeah. No, we've got to see the Dread, surely.
Oh, yeah, surely. It's been
it's in the opening credits, isn't it? Like, every time they're not gonna not give us the Dread. Maybe they won't. Maybe we have to wait till season 2 or something.
Yeah. We'll see.
Or no, he'll turn it on and it'll just like clunk to the floor.
Flatten him.
Oh, well, look forward to that. Cool. So thanks for watching this. Give us a like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Come check us out on Instagram. Obviously, we do our hobby podcast where we show off all the bits and pieces that we're painting and what we're learning about how to play this game. So we're all on Instagram, and use our hashtag Iron and Ceramite when you put a post up, and we'll share that on our stories, and hashtag share the hobby love. Facebook and Twitter, search for us on there. Come chat to us. You're obviously on YouTube. If you prefer to listen to podcasts, search us up and we'll pop up wherever you get your podcasts. We're on Twitch sometimes. And if you want to support us, we're on Patreon. Go give us a look up on there, or Element Games. Use the link in our description. Sends you through to Element Games, where you can obviously get all your hobby stuff, or most of it, at a discount. And they sort of give us a bit of a kickback as a thanks for sending you. And any money we do make, we're very appreciative of, and we'll put it in towards making the channel even that little bit more fabulous, I guess, for lack of a better word. And that's it. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.
As always, we would like to thank you for listening to our Iron and Ceramite podcast. If you liked us, then you can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and any other good podcast services. Just remember, in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.